Imagine a world where answers don't matter, where grades, election results, Instagram follower accounts, these neat packaged answers that we strive for, they're not the aim. Strange, right? It's drilled into us in classrooms, in workplaces, even on social media. But today, answers are everything. They're how we measure intelligence, success, even worth. But what if we've been looking in the wrong place all along? What if the magic isn't in the answers, but in the questions themselves? So let me ask you this. Are we afraid of getting the wrong answer? Are we afraid of asking the wrong questions? Or are we afraid of what the right ones might reveal? I want you to imagine you're in a history classroom, figuratively speaking. I still have 5 more minutes. Think of any major movement, any war, anything in history. Now, how did it begin? I'll answer that. It began with a question. Someone, somewhere, looked around and asked why. A moment of curiosity, a flicker of doubt, a refusal to accept things the way they are. Way back in 1666, Sir Isaac Newton asked the question, hey, why did this apple fall on my head? Unknowingly sparking the revolutionization of physics. I hate to break it to you, but you're probably not Isaac Newton. Don't worry, that doesn't mean your questions don't matter. In fact, they're everything. The difference between someone who stays stuck and someone who changes the world, it's not luck, it's not genius, it's just one question. But unfortunately, it's not like we can just go around all day asking why, or can't we? The average child between the ages of 2 and 5 asks approximately 73 to 300 questions per day. Why is the sky blue? Why can't I have ice cream for breakfast? Why do grown-ups look so stressed all the time? But as we grow and adapt, this number shrinks and shrinks. But does it have to? So far, in this speech alone, I have asked 12 questions. Did you notice? Probably not. That's how natural questioning is, or at least how it should be. But here's where most people get it wrong. They don't ask the right questions. To put it simply, there are 2 types of questions, closed and open. Closed questions such as, is this wrong, is this possible, simply invoke yes or no answers. But let me just modify them a little. How can I get this right? How is this possible? Notice the difference? Open questions do not just invite answers, they invite change. But here's the tricky part. Questioning, frankly, it's terrifying. We are terrified of being judged, of being wrong, and most of all, of how society will react, because history isn't always so welcoming to those who challenge the norm. I know this feeling all too well. When I was a child, I had terrible stage fright. In my primary school play, I was the only kid without a single line. Just standing there was terrifying. But one day, I looked around and I asked myself, why am I so scared? What's the worst that could happen? And those questions, they changed everything. They forced me to challenge the fear instead of just accepting it. These difficult, uncomfortable questions often go unasked, but these are the ones that rewrite history. When Emmeline Pankhurst asked, why shouldn't I have the right to vote? She wasn't just being defiant, she was questioning injustice. When Galileo queried, is the Earth really the center of the universe? He wasn't just being curious, he was questioning centuries of dogma, and he was imprisoned for it. These questions weren't polite, they weren't easy, but they were necessary. Progress has always begun with someone voicing the question everybody else was too afraid to ask. We are all scared. Scared of sounding stupid, scared of going against society. But here is what I've learned. The only way to move forward is to ask the hard questions, the uncomfortable ones, the ones that challenge everything we think we know. And maybe, just maybe, the question you ask today could be the one that shapes tomorrow. Because the future doesn't belong to those who wait around for answers. It belongs to those who dare to ask the questions. Thank you.